Hi YouTube, Tim here, and I've got something cool to show you. I just concluded a bow trade with a nice guy out in Pennsylvania, Eli, I think his last name is D. So I sent him out a bow. That was actually the pseudo-Magyar bow that I made up. I was really happy with how the bow actually looked, felt, and shot. It was beautiful. It was very nice, and Eli received it. He's pretty happy with it. That's great. And this is what Eli sent me. So let's go open it up and take a look-see. I'm actually kind of excited. It just arrived maybe 20 minutes ago, and I haven't even told Eli that it got here yet. I'm not sure if he has tracking information. Let's see. Oh. Yeah. Ha! That might be why it took a little longer to get here. The box is kind of destroyed. Just a little bit on one end. Nothing serious, of course, and I'm sure everything inside's fine. Let's see if I can just ease things out that way without opening. Let's see. Yeah, this is a problem that I had when I shipped the bow to somebody else. It was hard to get in the box because the box was just too small and the bow's under tension. Strong enough cardboard can help you, but only so much. But out it comes, little by little. As with almost anything, I really recommend getting some rubber gloves, or gloves with rubber soles. Very nice, look at that. With a bow sock. Okay, so let's get that to the side. By the way, if you're wondering why these are here, these are just two red oak Sias that I made. I stained with coffee and then I put a little bit of reddish polyurethane on, which is why they're not exactly the same shade as the table. But the light Magyar bow that I demoed, and the one that's appearing in the basic archery series, that one has Sias that match this almost perfectly. And this is, you know, some tropical wood, weird stuff, with just this thin veneer. But you can make the same darn look with red oak. Anyway, just wanted to show you that. So, back to business. I know Hawaii Archer did a great tutorial on making bow socks, and I really should look into that. I don't have a sewing machine, unfortunately, but that's not going to stop me. Look at that. That's something. Cool. Very cool. And there's still something in here. Eli had said that he was shipping as well a sword or a knife of some kind. So let's take a look at that. Oh, nifty! Look at that. Just like the Assassin's Creed blade that I was talking about. Very well done. Nicely flattened. Nice job, Eli. Oh, that's very cool. To gussy them up sometimes, what you can do is, if you slice it a little bit further down and then you heat, it'll pull back on its own, and I like that effect. And sometimes when this is off, I'll just take the scissors and make snips, and so when you insert it and heat it, you can fan it out and it looks kind of cool. But that's just me. Man, that's nice. Really nice job. You flattened that up beautifully, Eli. Good job. Very cool. It's funny how the PVC, it almost feels a little bit different from the stuff that I have around here, but that just could be the age of the PVC they have by me. Alright, so this is curious. I don't see knocks on this. I wonder if it's just meant to pull exactly as it is. Okay, there's some electrical tape holding on the string, which is a nice touch. Okay. Yeah, nice touch with the electrical cord, Eli. Or the electrical tape. That's really cool. Alright, so let's take a look at it from side to side. Here's one knock, or one knock area with the rubber band here. The bow is just tapered down. There's a little burn, but that looks very shallow. I don't think that'll prove to be a problem. inward and upward. Here's the handle. Looks like he used a 6-inch handle, which is great. And a slight burn here. Looks like he sealed it up with a little bit of hot glue. It's a little bit's peeling off. That's not unusual. That happens. Okay, and let's see. Oh, there's some more electrical tape here. Let me see if I can use the string to cut through that. Great. Okay. So let's just move this to the side very slightly, and then we can take a good long look down the bow. So now looking for straightness and stuff. One tip. The curve. It seems like the far end's a little bit out of alignment, but that may or may not matter. We'll go ahead and string it up and we can play around with it and see. Very nice. The flattening job is really good. Eli's getting them flatter than I typically get my bows. But it blends very nicely into an almost full size right here near the handle, which is great. Sometimes this happens to me too right here. This is where, say I'll be wearing my gloves, and I'll be pushing down while the pipe is hot. The pipe almost takes an imprint, if you can see that. See if it refocuses on it. Come on. Come on, camera. Well, anyway, I hope you can see that in the HD version. And same thing up here. It looks very good. So it might have been grabbing it like that and squishing it. Anyway, very cool. Doesn't look like there are any real problems with that. So aside from the very slight, yeah, you can see right here, the alignment right at this bend, and it starts to curve a tiny bit. That can be corrected real easy. Okay, great. So I'm assuming that since there's no visible knock, the whole point of it is just to put the string on and allow the fact that the string is not as wide as this, the whole thing to act as a giant pin knock. There's no problem with that. I've never thought about doing that, but I see no problem with it, and I guess it could lend a little bit of extra strength, or it allows you to remove a little bit more material. So I'm going to go over and string it up, and we can take a look at it. Tell you what, let me improve the lighting a little bit, and that should be better. Great. So now it appears to be fine on the one limb already. Let's just go and take the other, bend it, and there it is. Huh. Okay, if that's it, then the brace height is definitely a little bit low. By the way, if this is paracord, that's really cool. I really like that stuff. That's neat. And to be honest with you, the alignment issue, where the limb's a little bit out of alignment, all it seems to have done is brought the string a little bit closer to the left side. The bow draws very gently, and I think it would draw very evenly. Here's the bow in profile. The brace height is about 2.5, maybe 2 3/4 inches. So that's definitely a little bit low, but we can work on that. All that needs to be done is the string needs to be shortened a little bit. But let's take a look as we pull the bow. Since it is fairly long, that comes all the way to my shoulders, almost to my shoulder. Strung. The unstrung profile is basically the same, because he introduced this deflex here, right here near the tip. That might be a good place to introduce deflex in the future for my own purposes. Well, it draws, as you'd expect from the taper and the size. It draws comfortably to 28 inches. I'd say the weight is somewhere in the order of 20 to 25 pounds. Let's see. Can you see all that? Yeah, it's drawing past my ear to the chin. So, pretty cool. Nifty. I never thought about doing tips like that, but I don't see a problem with it. Yeah, very cool. Alright, Eli. Nice bow. I think if you were looking to make more bows, stuff like that, something that would help would be using a shorter string, for starters, because that would allow the bow to be more like this, and you're not going to smack yourself in the hand and palm. Because if you shot this every single time, you'd have to hold it almost like that to avoid it. Ooh, that's a cool sound. Sounds like a didgeridoo. Anyway, okay, I'm silly, but that's one thing that I'd do. The first thing would be that. The second thing, the alignment issue, not a big problem. especially my early bows, I had lots of issues of this type, and it was just so hard to keep it straight. Making efforts when you're flattening it just to make sure that it's straight, and when you're done flattening it, once it's mostly set, it's still not 100% set. So after you take it off of, say, a pot that you're bending it around, just take it off and look at it, and then say, it's a little crooked. Grab it on both sides of the crook and brace it against your knee or something like that and pull. And you can usually pull that right out. Well, it's still hot, but not so hot that it's puffing back up. Those two things, and you've got a really nice bow, I think. I like this. I mean, that's really cool. I never thought about just doing a straight triangular pin knock, but again, I don't see why you can't. Don't see any reason with that. Nifty. Eli, nice job. This is one of your early bows, and I think you're going to come a long way. This is fun. I'm glad you're in this hobby. You're doing a beautiful job on tapering them, I gotta say. You get them nice and thin near the tips, the dagger especially, and the overall shape of the bow is really cool. I've never deflexed near the tips, but it looks really nice. And then once you draw the bow, the deflex almost fades right into the limb, and it just looks natural. Let's make sure I'm drawing it a little lower than usual so you can see it, a little higher so you can see the bottom. Nifty. Nice job, Eli. Keep up the good work, man. And thanks for watching. Thanks for the bow trade.